Campaigns, because that seems to be a lot of the questions that I get. Sierra is working across from me right now, so you might hear her once in a while. And also we just ordered food from the restaurant below us, and we work in a little office building that has a restaurant, and they might bring us. I might have to eat. Oh my gosh, I hear the food coming. Sierra, you're chewing so loud. I wonder if everybody can hear it. Wait. All right, can you guys hear me? I put my earpods in, so maybe you don't have to hear Sierra. First, we're going to talk about understanding what the heck kvCore is doing behind the scenes, so that you understand how kvCore is working for you with non-campaign related things. And then we're going to talk about what you need to know about the SMART number that's related. We're going to talk about utilizing the essential campaigns and modifying campaigns as well as customizing campaigns, and then using hashtags to trigger a campaign. Let's talk about understanding what the heck kvCore is doing behind the scenes. And this is where I'm talking about non-campaign automation, talking about behavior alerts, search alerts, valuations, market reports, birthday messages, house anniversary messages, and call tasks. So it's important that you understand what kvCore is doing behind the scenes. I'm gonna tell you, it took me a long time to understand what the heck kvCore was doing behind the scenes. Just because we were busy and we don't have time to learn everything, right? So I'm about to just tell you. Where I'm going to start here is in my agent profile. I'm going to click on the right-hand side where my email dropdown is, and I'm going to go to my profile. We're going to start here with call tasks. So my profile that I can edit, and I'm going to go down here to settings in my agent profile. And I want to show you these settings. You can choose to have kvCore create daily call tasks for you. By default, it's just like prospects, new leads, and active leads. So if you want to add other statuses like your sphere or clients or people under contract or clients that are now closed clients, or that you've marked closed, if you want them to be included in these call tasks that kvCore creates for you, you need to add them here. So I've added mine, and I've got it on, the toggle is on, that it's going to auto create calls for me every day, but not on weekends currently. And right now I just have it set to 15 calls a day that it will create for me. And it'll give me 8 a.m. that it'll send me like an email to do this. But really, you should just be getting in your kvCore once a day to check out the tasks that you've set up for yourself to choose whether you're going to snooze them, whether you're going to do them, skip them, whatever you want to do. Okay. Well, what's going to happen here, and I'm way behind, so it's hard because I only have 2 days a week that I do for my phone prospecting calls. And so it's hard to get through everything, but I try. So here I've got a past due call task. This is for a new lead that it's asking me to call. Now this is from one of my call tasks that I've created myself specifically on this contact. It was part of a campaign. It says call or send what's your number email. This is a call task to call this lead. This is a call task to call this person in my sphere. Now from here, I can choose to snooze these for a week, a day, 3 hours, an hour, 20 minutes. This is an improvement. It used to be just 24 hours you could snooze them, but now you can snooze them for more than 24 hours. So you can snooze them or do the task, okay? You also have the kvCore mobile app, you guys. And on the mobile app, if you download your mobile app and log into kvCore, there's a dialer. And it will allow you just from where you're driving around showing houses or going to a listing appointment or whatever, you can use your dialer to do your daily calls. Okay, so that's that. So you can set up your CRM to set up these automatic call tasks for you. All right, Lexi. So when I use my dialer on my mobile app, it calls from my personal cell. Correct. If you want to get it to dial from your smart number, Lexi, you have to do it from your desktop or laptop. Okay. And if you have more questions about that, please contact kvCore support. And what you're going to do there is you're going to use the little support chat here at the bottom right, and you're going to ask that question to them. Okay? Because guess what? Who's not kvCore support? Me. I'm not kvCore support. All right. Let's talk about behavior alerts. Okay, so this is like the big question for everybody. So here I am at Marketing Autopilot inside my kvCore, and I'm going to go to behavioral automation. And you know what's surprising is kvCore tells you exactly what it's doing, because guess what? It's right here. It says it. You can read it and it tells you. All right, so basically what's happening by default, anybody that is in your sphere and active lead, a prospect, a new lead, this is by default. I didn't change this. This is just how it is. By default, when somebody with one of these lead statuses that's in your CRM does something on your website, they are going to get what's called a behavior alert. Now, this behavior alert is going to come in the form of either a text if there's a phone number for them, or an email if there's no phone number. Fair enough? Okay. So here's how you know when those things happen. It's going to be one of these things. If a lead revisits your site after 2 weeks, they haven't been to your site in 2 weeks, and now they revisit. If they visit the site 5 times within the last week, if they viewed 5 properties within 1 day, if they viewed 10 properties in the last week, if they viewed a property 3 times, or they favored a property, then they're going to get something. Now, if they do something, if they do more than one of these things in 1 day, they're not going to get an additional message. So if they revisit the site after 2 weeks and then they also favored a property, they're not going to get messaged again. Okay, they're only going to get messaged up to once a day. So that's something to note. You can see what's going to be sent. This is the email that would be sent, and this is the text that would be sent. Can you change these? No, you cannot. Are you worried that it doesn't sound like you? Get over yourself. Nobody cares what you sound like. So that's how they work. Now you can turn this on for your closed and your archived and your clients and your contracts. I would just recommend you leave it on what it is. Okay. Now you can turn these behavior alerts off for individual people. So let's say your Aunt Lailani in a different state. Like I have an Aunt Lailani and she's in San Diego, California, and she's in my sphere. And I do have her set up to look at properties back here in Michigan because she wants to see stuff. But you know what? I don't want her to get these. So I can turn those off for specific people. So let me show you. Like, so let's say you have a lead that's a little bit, weird. I don't know, weird. Yeah. You don't want to have to deal with them extra, or they just seem like, don't call me. I've had that, you know, so you don't want them to really get anything extra. You don't want to delete them, but you don't want to get them, have them get anything extra. Or you have your Aunt Lailani. Oops, I have to clear that filter, sorry. So here's my Aunt Lailani. And you can go here under more actions. And I have, right, it says turn on behavior alerts because I turned them off for her. So I didn't turn off the behavior alerts for everybody in my sphere. I turned them off just for Aunt Lailani. And let's go back to Marketing Autopilot. And I want to talk about birthdays and anniversaries. Now, these are not like, congratulations, you're still married. Anniversaries. This is congratulations, you're still in your house. Anniversaries. So you have these options: birthdays and anniversaries of purchase. And so you can choose who by default is going to get these messages. People in your sphere. So I have my people in my sphere, people under contract, clients, and people marked as closed are going to get birthday messages. And you can see what's going to happen. I can click on here. What is this birthday email that's going to be sent out? Well, this is the default happy birthday email. This is what it looks like. It's fine. It's lovely. You can choose to run it on the date of the birthday, the day before the birthday, or the day after the birthday. Okay, so you can set that up here. And you can also see the text, and then same with the home anniversary. So let me type that in. All right. And here is what the home anniversary email looks like. There's also a text. Now you can go into your Marketing Autopilot and create your own template to change things up and make it different, and then choose that to change what template's going to get sent. All right, but this is, otherwise those are the default. Okay, but wait, there's more. You can't, these are on, but they're not necessarily on for each individual. So this is where it's irritating. And I guess I kind of understand it, but I'm also irritated by it. And that is, if you take like a bunch of contacts from a previous CRM and you've got their birthday in there, and then you upload that file to kvCore and you've got their birthdays in there, guess what? Doesn't matter. Their birthdays aren't automatically going to get, they're not going to get messages. You have to actually opt in each one individually. And that's irritating to me, but I'll show you what I mean. So let's see if I can find somebody. So I used to sell cars. So I got a bunch of old car customers in here. Let's see if I can find somebody. I don't know if I've got Lori's in here. So here's Lori. She's somebody I sold a car to, and then one of her daughter actually ended up buying a house with me. Oh, I do have her birthday in here. She also works at Talbot's, which is like a clothing store. She asked me to come in for like one of their fashion shows, and it was super fun. So I've got a relationship with this woman. She's in my sphere. Here's her birthday. It's in here, but guess what? I have to opt her in. I have to opt her in order for her to start getting these email and texts. Okay, it doesn't happen automatically unless I physically, individually opt them in. Irritating, but it's the way it is. It's the same exact thing when you close a client. So let's say you import everybody, past clients, because you brought them in from a CRM, and you have somewhere, and I didn't sell a house with her, but I just want to show you. If I can find last close date, you would add the date here of their last close date when they bought a house, and you would have to opt them in for that. Irritating, but it's the way it is currently in kvCore. I see some messages here. How can you set up a birthday if you don't know the year? Oh, it doesn't matter about the year. You just need, you don't care about the year. The date, the day, the month and the day is what matters. Okay. You don't need to know if they're 45 or 39, or you don't need to know. You just know the day is June 1st. What you need to understand is when a person who's maybe not registered on your website, or they're on your web, they come to your website and they look at a property. They look at a property. Maybe they're in your CRM and they've never actually registered on your website before, but they decide to register on your website to look at a property. Okay, what are they going to get? Does anybody know? What's something they're going to start getting just because of looking at a property? What's something they're going to start getting? Who knows?
Searches.
Yeah, search alerts. Thank you. So let's look at some.
Should that always happen no matter what? Because sometimes it doesn't.
Good. Okay, that's great. Thanks for bringing that. So it should happen if somebody looks at a property. Who can think of why it wouldn't happen? Does anybody know?
The only thing I could think of is if they opted out.
If they opt out? If they opt out, yeah, that could happen. But another reason why it might happen is the way the lead comes in. Like, so for example, because a lot of people ask me about, hey, did you try Property Boost or Marketing It Rain with kvCore before? I never had until recently. I'm trying something. And the way a lot of these leads come in, they don't actually look at any properties. They just come in as I get the lead, but they don't actually view any properties. So no search alerts get set up. So I have to do it for them manually. The other reason is maybe there's not enough properties. So let's look at this one. This is Christina Wiseman. She came in on November 8th. Now she was one of these paid ads I'm trying out, which I kind of don't recommend. Okay, I would rather do it myself and boost my own stuff for a lot cheaper. So I'm proving that to myself now because I needed to try this. But she actually did look at a couple properties, and because she looked at properties, a search alert was created. However, look, there's only 2 properties. So, I mean, she's supposed to get an email every day with not a lot of stuff. So here's what I would do in those cases. And that's checking on people's search alerts and seeing if they're getting enough. So she looked in Big Rapids, and it's 4 bedrooms, 3 baths. Because of the types of homes she looked at, You know, that's, I mean, 4 bedrooms and 3 bathrooms is kind of a lot. So I'm just going to reduce this to 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, just to see if I can widen the range. I'm going to update the alert. I got a few more. So I'm going to just now edit this price range to like 150 to 300. So I'm going to update that alert and see if I can get more listings. So I don't have too many more. I mean, there's not a lot of listings right now anyway, but at least there's more. So when she gets emails automatically from me every single day, there'll be more listings. So you'll want to double check those things, but they're going to, you know, if they typically a buyer who checks on a property is going to start getting search alerts, you need to just make sure the search alert is wide enough that they're getting enough properties to look at. Because the idea is you want them to look at a new property and to come back to your website and look at it, not just get the email, but click on it and look at it. Okay. All right. What else do I want to talk to you about? Valuations. Okay. So then the next thing is before we get onto campaigns, the other thing that a campaign can be doing behind the scenes for sellers is what? If somebody is a seller and they ask for their instant home value on kvCore, what are they going to start getting automatically? Who knows?
Market reports?
Yes, market reports and valuations specifically. Okay, they're going to get home valuations with a market report. So anybody, whether it's a buyer or seller, can request to get a market report in any zip code, city, or county. But a seller who requests their home valuation is going to automatically get their home valuation plus a market report for their zip code. Okay, so let's see if we can find one that has an email. So this one, for example, this is one of my from Google. I got this particular lead, and they requested their home value for somewhere in Muskegon, Michigan. And then they automatically are getting a market report and valuation. You can see that in the parentheses, automatically once a month. I can also send now if I wanted to, but they're already getting it once a month. They have my seller campaign, which will eventually end. They have 5 more touches. And because another thing that I do with my sellers is when I get a seller lead, I put them on a search alert. So once or twice a month, depending on my mood, they're going to get listings in their zip code that they live in once or twice a month. So that's something I add. That's that. So that's going to happen. The valuation is going to happen automatically. And if they subscribe to a market report, if they're a buyer, they're also going to get that. Okay. Any questions so far? Is it true kvCore will not always display when yes. Okay. Good question. When a contact opens an email, if it's a search alert or market evaluation, you'll be able to see that they opened the email. So let's see if we can see here. So this particular email that I see that she opened, Karen, this was a one that was manually sent to her. So we actually sent her this email and she got this email, like it was individual email. I clicked send email. Okay. And so we can see that we got that, but any email that was sent from a campaign that was included in a campaign, you're not going to be able to see whether they opened it or not. It's just the way it is right now. That will change when, eventually kvCore is working on that. It's just, they're not there yet. So any scheduled mass email that you send, any manual email that you send, any search alert that gets sent, or market report that gets sent, those things you'll be able to see whether they opened or not. But anything from a campaign, you'll not be able to tell if they opened it or not. Okay. Marcia asked, how can we look at our own website without registering? I am so glad you asked that because that's a fun question. If I go to my website, I'm not already registered on my website as a consumer. It may ask me to register. Now, I am registered right now because I've been messing around with my website recently. So it's not going to ask me to register. But if I weren't logged in right now, and I looked at a second property, it would ask me to register. If I looked at one of my squeeze pages that mandated a immediate registration, I would have to register. Okay. However, if you wanted to look at your own website without having to register, the way to do that is to go here to your profile. And then in the drop down, you'll see your URL. That's your website right there. And then you click on that and you'll see where it says key. It says, my domain plus the word key. That is telling kvCore that you, the agent, are looking at your own website. So it's not going to mandate any registration. Ta-da! Okay. I'm so impressed with myself that I know that. Is the market report still limited to the cities or can it be set to neighborhoods? So that is a great question. Depending on your MLS, isn't great at defining a neighborhood. So let's say in Grand Rapids, Michigan, for example, there's several really distinct neighborhoods. There's Alger Heights, there's Oakdale, there's Garfield, but kvCore can't differentiate those neighborhoods because the MLS doesn't differentiate those neighborhoods. They might differentiate townships, and in that case, you can possibly get a market report for a township if there's enough data. But typically, specific neighborhoods, like in urban areas specifically, it doesn't. Well, I'm going to show you an example. I'm going to go to my own website. I'm going to go to search. I'm going to go to free market report. I'm going to try to put in a neighborhood, like a specific neighborhood that's a known neighborhood in Grand Rapids. And notice it doesn't come up. Okay. However, a township might. It's a neighborhood, but that's not like a real thing. Okay, here's Grand Rapids Township. So there's neighborhood and area. I mean, either is going to be the same, and it wants me to register. But I live right now in Goodwell Township. Let's see if that comes up. It's a township that's in the part of the city of White Cloud. And it comes up area or neighborhood. And I have to register. You have to basically see which one is going to give you the most data, and it just is going to depend. Okay. Yeah. But part of the problem is it just depends on what the MLS is going to offer. The MLS is going to offer townships and villages sometimes and cities, but the MLS doesn't allow like neighborhoods, or zip code. Yeah, it just depends on your MLS. The market report valuation, Wanda wants to know, is it automatic or something we have to do? It depends. So if they are someone who requests their home valuation and they've provided an email address, they are going to automatically get the market report for their zip code and their home valuation automatically. If they are just any Tom, Dick, or Harry, and they go to, they see the links, there's a few different links where it's located where it says get your free market report. They can click on that and choose anything and subscribe to get that market report. And then yes, it would happen automatically. And then the other option is that you put them on evaluation. Like maybe, like I know Sierra, who's working across from me, she will often, for her buyer leads, she will assign them a market report, right, Sierra? You do that.
Yep.
So for her buyer leads, she puts them on a market report that they're going to get every month for the zip code they requested or city they requested.
It gives you what they've been looking at.
Yeah, whatever they're looking at, their area, the properties they're looking at, she'll assign for them to get an automatic market report. I don't do that for my buyers. I do it for my sphere and my sellers. It might happen automatically if they requested something, or you can put them on it so they automatically get it. Okay, I feel like I want to be done with this. What do you do when a home valuation lead comes in as an address and with no hashtag? I often get home valuation requests with just an address and no email address. Is that what you're talking about, Tom? What is happening? Well, somebody puts in their address and they're like, oh, you mean I have to provide my email address and or my phone number to get this information? I don't feel like it. So I just get an address. That's all I
And then
get.
a lot of times they go back and then.
And
redo it
sometimes they'll go back.
Because they didn't think they got it.
Exactly. Sometimes they change their mind or they go back and then you get it. And then you might find out that you get a duplicate lead. Many times they won't and they'll just abandon it. So you have to just you have to kind of sort through. So let's see if I go filter here and I go new lead, I go prospect and seller and apply filter. Is Marissa Lunt and this Loveless Drive, are they the same people? Sometimes it could be, or this Lincoln. Okay, no, that's totally different. Okay, so different address. I was just checking to see, is it a duplicate lead from one of these, but it's not. So 18% of those seller leads, whether you get a name and an email address and phone number or not, whether it's just an address or you also get more information, no matter what, 18% of these types of leads requesting a home valuation, they will list and sell their house within 6 months from the day you get the lead. It's just a fact. I've tracked it. I've looked at the numbers. I'm not good at math, but I'm good at that much. If you get 100 leads this week that are seller leads, just know that 18 of those people will list and sell their house in the next 6 months. So what are you going to do to convert that lead? So you're just going to say, oh, I didn't get an email address or a phone number. So, oh, well. Or are you going to go into your county records, find out who owns that house and knock on their door, mail them something, use like RedX or Spokio? What resources are you going to use to contact these people? Visiting, mailing, finding their phone number, whatever. A couple of years ago, if you guys remember, I'm going to give you this video because it's fun. Remember when we were doing the balloons, Sierra? And
Oh,
Rebecca and I were doing the balloons. So what we did,
In the van? Did you rent
we did the
van?
crazy van.
Yeah, the crazy van.
So what a friend of mine and I did a couple of years ago is we kind of partnered up and we got a bunch of balloons from the dollar store, and we took a balloon and walked up to the door. It was like around like after work time, like between 5 and 7 time when people are home from work. Walked up to the door with the balloon, knocking. And so people would like open the door, like smiling, like, why are these ladies bringing us a balloon?
I thought they won like
Yeah, the lottery or
yeah,
something.
yeah.
And that was our little joke, like, I'm sorry, we don't have any sweepstakes that you won. We're not with Publishing Clearinghouse, but we do have a balloon. And we're realtors, and we just want to let you know that if there's any questions you have about real estate, we're happy to help. And it was really fun. Here it is. Okay. So we talk all about it in this fun video. We talked about number one. That was a big thing. Like I could have, gosh, I should have just made that the class and been done with it. Talk about campaigns next time, but that's fine. I can do this. You guys ready? Okay. Here's what you need to know about the SMART number is the next thing we're going to talk about. When you opt in for kvCore and you are like a brand new agent with EXP or whatever brokerage you're in, you're going to get a SMART number. This SMART number that's automatically assigned to you is a shared number. How do you know what that number is? Well, it's going to be in two places. I'm here at my agent profile drop down little thingy thing, and it's showing me what my SMART number is there. I can also go to lead engine and I go to call capture, and it's going to show me what my SMART number is here. Now, I will tell you that for a good 2 years or more, I just lived with the shared SMART number. What is a shared SMART number? Well, in your little text here that you have on your own lead engine, it's going to show you whether you have an office SMART number or an agent SMART number. If you have an office SMART number, that means you're using the shared number that you're not paying extra for. And it will explain how it works. Okay. Or you're paying for your own SMART number that's personal to you, $27 extra a month that you're going to get through the marketplace here in kvCore. You're going to order that. And this is how it works. Okay. So I will say I made it through 2 years without it. Let me tell you what it does. Well, first things first, When you get those behavior alert texts, remember we talked about behavior alerts? When a person comes on your website and they do something and they get one of these behavior alerts and there happens to be a phone number for them, they're going to get a text message. Guess where that text message is going to come from? Is it going to come from your cell phone number? Nope. It's going to come from this smart number. And if you're using the shared smart number, you're not paying for your own personal smart number, then that's where it's going to come from. Okay. Now, on most of these messages, it's going to show your name, your cell phone number, if you have your cell phone number in your profile, and your website. Okay. So let's look at this. I'm going to go to my profile. I'm going to edit here my profile. When I have my cell phone in here. Okay. My cell phone's in here. Okay. So whenever that merge tag shows to put the agent's cell phone number in, because I have that in here, it's going to fill in with that information. So that could protect you. So what do I mean about protect you? Well, if you have the shared smart number and somebody gets a text message from the smart number and they decide to call the number, you would think that because that person's in your CRM and their phone number is in your CRM and they call you, that that call would come to you. But that's not necessarily what's going to happen. What might happen is it can round robin. It can go to some other agent another agent in your region who is using kvCore, who's in your same brokerage. That's who it could go to.
Even though they're in your CRM?
Even though they're in your CRM. Let me show you. Okay.
That is just wrong.
It's just sick and wrong. I'll tell you what. So it took me so long to figure this out too. It took me a long time to register it. So this is when I decided to change. I want to say too, in campaigns, which we're going to get to eventually, when you have campaigns and the campaigns include text messages, the text message is also going to come from a smart number, even if it's a campaign or behavior alert. Okay. So let me show you what happened. I got this guy on February 20th of this year. He came in and one of my my own efforts. I got him from Google, my own marketing efforts. He came in and he requested a home valuation. And then look, he requested a home valuation at 8:33 p.m. Then he replied to an automatic text message. Message said something like, hey, I noticed you requested a home valuation on my website. Are you thinking of selling? So that just happened automatically. I didn't do that. It just came. Okay. And he replied back, yes, thinking about it. Isn't that sweet? He's thinking about it. Then at 10:11, I don't know if he had a beer or whatever, but at 10:11 p.m., he decided to give me a call. He called me and it says, Dennis Powers called Matt Brace. Is that my name? No. That's a different agent in EXP in my area. He called him, but guess what? No one answered. And so the next day I discovered that. And so I called the guy and I contacted him and I said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I realized you tried to call me yesterday and I didn't answer. I apologize. And then I was able to help him. But after that, I'm like, guess I'm getting my own smart number. I mean, I can spend $27 at dinner one night. I can get my own damn smart number because I don't want. You'll notice in my profile, I don't have any boxes checked to show on my website. Okay. I don't have any boxes checked to say, yeah, show this number on my website. If you click on, a different place on my website, where my phone number is going to show. What's showing here is this is my smart number. This is my smart number showing, okay? Because I want on my kvCore website, I want that number to show. I want that number to show because if somebody actually does go here and they click, let's say like they click on a property and they're going to say, here's your agent, here's your phone number. It's going to come through that smart number. I'm going to get the call. It's not going to be round robin. So here's me, here's my smart number. It's going to come to me and I have it set so that if I get a phone call, the phone call is going to automatically be recorded. So it'll either come in as a new lead and that phone call will be recorded, or it's going to be on an existing lead and the phone call is going to be recorded. And so that's how I've set it up in my settings. I don't use this phone number like in my email signature or anything. I don't use it because let's say a title company or whatever gets one of my emails from something. I don't want my title company to start using this as my phone number. So they're coming in as leads all the time. All right. Does that make sense? So I don't have that number in my signature, but I do have my cell phone number listed in here so that anytime like an automatic text message or email goes out where my agent's cell phone number is filled in, I want that number I want my cell phone number to show. I don't have anything checked here because if you are paying for your own personal smart number and you don't have any boxes checked here, then your personal smart number will show as the number featured on your website if no boxes are checked. But if you don't want your smart number to show on here, let's say I didn't want my smart number to show on my website, I want my cell phone, I could check this box. Okay. And then that would show. And it's always the first box that's checked out of this list here that's going to show. So I see a lot of people, and when we're doing their kvCore setups, they'll put the same exact number for each 3 things, and they have all 3 checked. Doesn't matter. Just whatever the first box is, the top box that's checked is the one that's going to show on your website. Or if you just leave it blank, then your own personal smart number will override it, and that's what's going to show. If you didn't check any boxes here like this, and you were not paying for your own personal smart number, guess what number is going to show? The shared number. So if you're not paying for your own personal smart number, make sure you check your cell phone as the box so that that's the number that's going to show on your website. Okay, seeing questions. I don't know, Kim, how many people are sharing this one smart number. It's just going to depend on your region and how many agents that are in your same brokerage are in your general region. When you pay for it, you can't choose the actual number, but you can have a first choice for your area code and then a second choice for your area code. So my first choice was 616 and my second choice was 231 for my area code. And I got my first choice. Yeah, the smart number will come directly to your cell phone. Ilona, smart number from GoDaddy will not work with kvCore, I don't believe. The only smart number you can have integrated with kvCore is your Google Voice number. So if you go ahead and pay for your own smart number with kvCore and then tell them, great, thanks for giving me a smart number, but I actually want to use my Google Voice number, they will help you integrate that. If you have more questions about this smart number, you guys, please remember that I'm not kvCore support. I don't work for kvCore. I want you to click on kvCore support, tech support, that little chat, and message kvCore. What about your business cards and signs? I would not use the smart number on my business cards because again, I don't want another agent who, I'm trying to attract or is contacting me about a listing to call me, and I don't want to generate a lead from that necessarily. Now, you could use call capture codes. This class is not going to talk more, you could probably spend an entire class about the smart number and call capture codes and where to use the smart number. I don't really have time for that. But I will tell you, on my signs, I actually use my Google Voice number. I do use call capture a lot. And in that case, like text this code to get this information. And that comes from my smart number. So when someone is calling via your smart number, oh yeah, you can. I think, yeah, you know what, you can, because there's not caller ID. So it's actually going to show when the call comes in, the caller ID is going to show your own smart number. So in that case, you're going to know it's coming from my smart number, but I don't know who it is calling. All right. All right. Woo. We talked about 1 and 2, the smart number and everything kvCore is doing behind the scenes. Next, utilizing your essential campaigns. So it's kind of hard to show you in my own kvCore because I have so many like messy campaigns happening and it's kind of hard to explain, but I'm going to do my best. I'm going to just tell you that if you haven't done anything with your campaigns when it comes to kvCore, you're going to want to do that. And you don't have to be a campaign expert. I'm going to just talk about like the essentials. And I'm going to remind you that document I shared with you at the very beginning, my resources document, there's actually a link to a video on YouTube that says like something about activating your essential campaigns. And so I have a video already explaining this. So I'm going to do this briefly, but here I am on my marketing autopilot. I'm just going to tell you the essential campaigns you want to make sure is that you have in your library and that are activated. Okay. So here, so again, I have a bunch of weird stuff going on, but you have in your marketing autopilot, you're going to see kvCore library, and you're going to see system campaigns. You should see right now in fall 2020 or November 2020, you should see that there's 23 system campaigns. If you don't see that there's at least 23 system campaigns, what are you going to do? You're going to go to the kvCore support chat here on the right-hand side, and you're going to say, hey, you're going to send us a message and then click ask a question. Hey, I'm going to send the screenshot of my kvCore library, and it's only showing that I have 10 system campaigns or none, and I want all 23. Where are they? Okay, that's what you're going to do. I'm saying that because I've seen that a couple times where people don't have campaigns and they have to tell kvCore to give them to them. I don't know why that is. It just happens once in a blue moon. But anyway, so you're going to see these system campaigns. Let's pretend you're somebody who has no campaigns in here whatsoever, okay, in your own library. But there's 23 in the system campaign. So just because they're in the system campaign, if they're not in your own library, you've got nothing happening. All right, so you need to go to your kvCore library, and the default campaigns that you want to make sure are there, you need to add. Now, I hear so many times people saying, oh, the campaign doesn't sound like me, or I just don't like the wording. That's fine. Change it someday when you learn how. But right now you just need campaigns, but it's fine. They're just short little messages and it's okay to get started. So what you're going to do, you're going to get these campaigns. Okay, you're going to go to kvCore library and system campaigns, and you're going to just type in, you can even just type in this conversion. So there's conversion default seller. It's 7 touches, nice and simple to start. And then default buyer, 6 touches, nice and simple to start. You're going to click add to library, and I'm not going to do it because I already have them. Add to library, and then you're going to change the status from a grayed out status, which means it's not active, to active. Now, these are default buyer and seller campaigns. These are going to activate anytime you get a, so for a seller, any lead that comes in that kvCore calls the new lead and identifies as a seller, this campaign will automatically start. So that means you don't want to have another campaign. So let's go back in here and call seller. I'm gonna go seller. I'm gonna go so there's another campaign now, default new lead seller. So you don't want to add this one as well. You don't want to add the default new lead seller campaign and the conversion default campaign and have both of them running, because guess what's going to happen? They're going to get two campaigns at the same time. They're going to both be on it. They're going to get like the same stuff, or just. And I don't really like this one. It's just tasks, like another task, another task, another. Call them. Oh, call them again. So it's so that's the default conversion default seller campaign or buyer campaign is fine.